So I'm outside church today. I'm out and about because I'm responding to the gospel in which Jesus sends out 70 people to proclaim that the kingdom of God is here. And we hear about this in Luke chapter 10, and what we're supposed to happen is that they go out in pairs and they find a village, and you're supposed to go without any preparations. You go without extra changes of clothing, without food, without money. And you just turn up at a house, you say peace to this house, and you have to hope and pray that someone takes you in. And when they do, you say peace to this house, and they share their lives with you, and you share your life with them, and you tell them the kingdom of God is near. And sometimes it'll go wrong, and if they don't accept the kingdom of God is near, then you shake the dust off of your feet and say, bad luck, woe is you, but the kingdom of God was here. And what's kind of a challenge if you're in a job like mine is the way we do ministry in the Church of England is largely different from this. So Michael, my colleague, is getting ordained this week, and one of the things that happens this weekend is he'll be ordained to the Church of England. And the model of priestly ministry basically is that you stay in some place for quite a while. So I'm now walking down this road, which is in my parish, and one of the interesting things, I've been here for 7.5 years, is you start knowing things about certain parishes. So even as I'm walking past, I know I've been into certain places for baptism visits. And we're just coming up to Joanne Healy's house. Now, you won't know who Joanne Healy is, or you might do. Joanne died 18 months ago or so, but I used to visit her, I suppose, once a month. And she had quite an acute wit, and she would take apart your sermons a bit, but was very friendly and had a nice cup of tea. And I remember Joanne, so every time I go down here, I'm kind of walking with Joanne's soul in my head. But of course, it's not just her, because I'm just coming up to where Max was born last year. So I'm now thinking, how does Max get on? And if you go to a place for a while, what I find, this is my first parish I've been a vicar of, is that when you walk around, you're living with the souls of people who've gone, as well as the people who are still here. So it's quite a special way of doing ministry, but it's very much based on permanence. I get given a house to live in. It's kind of convenient in that way. And it's not the same as the model that Jesus had, which is just off you go. You got your 70, come back in a couple of weeks after you spread the kingdom of God. And there is a challenge. I mean, if it was good enough for Jesus, maybe that's something we should do. Maybe I should just go out and stay in, congregations or anyone's spare room from day to day, and then talk about God. And you do think, that'd be kind of interesting. Whereas a lot of our missions the other way, we tend to stay in a building and we look after it, and we invite, this is a church, and we invite people to come in. And is that inauthentic to Jesus' way of doing it? And if it is that just like a chronic mistake? And maybe I've been so institutionalised, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because our mission after kind of 2,000 years have to be a bit different from how it was then. And actually, there is still a little bit of transience. I wasn't born in Surbiton, and I'd never been here before I got the job. You come to a place and you do go. And there are people in our congregation who, been confirmed in this church in like 1935. So you're like, well, you're not nothing, but they've seen quite a few vicars come and go. You're still relatively transient. And so at the moment, I suppose what we've got is a halfway house between the full-on temporary, no clothes on your back business, and coming in a semi-permanent way. And while I would defend it, I think it's really useful having this gospel, because it does make you just think, are we too inward looking? Should we be doing more out there? What would be the reception if I just said, look, can I just stay the night? I'd like to tell you about the kingdom of God. I mean, would people think, you're an absolute lunatic, keep away from me? Or would people respond to it? And I think there is some mileage in that question, and we should probably ask it more often than we do.